So it's another day, another CPU launch, and another awesome gaming build. Here at Microcenter, we're proud to announce that we now have the AMD Ryzen 7 9800X3D CPU, which is shaping up to be the king of gaming CPUs. You're looking at 8 cores, 16 threads with a base clock of 4.7 gigahertz, a boost clock of 5.2 gigahertz, and that expanded L3 cache of 96 megabytes, which is going to come in handy with a lot of gaming. Now, this has a TDP of 120 watts, which our cooler is definitely going to be able to handle very well. Now let's look at everything else that's going to go into today's build. Now for our motherboard, we have the ROG Strix X870E-E gaming Wi-Fi motherboard. For memory, we have Crucial DDR5 Pro. This is 5600 megatransfers per second, and we have 4 sticks, 24 gigabytes each, giving us a total of 96 gigabytes of RAM. That's a lot of memory. We also have a 2 terabyte SSD with the 990 Pro from Samsung. And for the GPU, we went with the AMD Radeon RX 7900 XTX. Now this is the XFX version, and this is going to look really, really nice. The theme for today's build is going to be that classic black and red look that you associate with AMD, and I think this is going to look really, really nice, especially considering we're going to have our NZXT Kraken Elite 360 RGB AIO cooler, and that's going to look really awesome paired with our F360 and an F280 RGB core fan. Now, these are multiple fans put into one unit, so we have our 3 fans in the 360 and 2 fans in the 280, which is going to fill out our Phantex NV9 full tower case. This is a massive, massive case and plenty of room for all of these fans. I'm actually really looking forward to putting this together. We also have a ROG Strix 1000 watt PSU. This is the Aura edition, so this is going to look very, very nice as well. And then we also wanted to pair this off with some really nice peripherals that we have from Logitech. For the mouse, I went with the G502 Hero, which is my personal favorite. I have 2 of these that I use on 2 different computers at home. I love the programmable keys. I use them for every game that I play. I also have the Astro A50. This is the wireless headset. This is the best wireless gaming headset that you can get, and we have this new at Microcenter as of a couple of weeks ago. And this also has the black and red accents that I'm looking for to pair this off with the rest of the build. And then for the keyboard, we have the Logitech G915X. This is a really nice low profile wired gaming keyboard that I think is just going to accent this really, really well. So everything is going to come together and we're going to have one really killer build. This is a lot to put together, so I'm going to have Sean from Microcenter News come over and lend me a hand, and we're going to put this build together. Come check it out. All right, so we're here and we're all set up, ready to build?
Yeah, let's do it.
I really like this workbench. This workbench is really comfortable.
It's nice, it's big, there's enough space for multiple people to get on it, which is always nice when you're trying to do a multiple thing.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tackle the motherboard. I'll put in the CPU, RAM, SSD. You can start unboxing some of the goodies, the GPU, and then we'll get into the case.
Sounds great, yeah. So what are we doing on this build? You told me a little bit, but...
So I want to do a black and red theme.
Okay.
I think that'll look pretty good for kind of AMD colors, right?
Yeah.
I want... This is a little overkill because this is a full tower case. This is going to be huge.
Ooh, I don't think I've done a full tower ever.
It's big. It's a big, chunky guy. We also have just a really big AIO that we're putting, a whole bunch of fans.
I was gonna say, quick cutoff. The fans for the GPU don't come pre-installed. Interesting.
They are separate. This is actually super interesting. Jacob was just playing with this before, but he put it back in the box.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, look, it has little contacts on the fans too.
I say, it looks like they're just magnets, like they just basically pop right in. Oh, wow, this is a gorgeous card.
See what I mean about the black and red?
Yeah.
And when you pair this off with, because I have a headset that we're going to pair this off with too.
Okay.
I think this is going to look real cool.
Yeah, I mean, this is a gorgeous GPU.
So I got the CPU. I'll just get this guy in. Got our 9800 X3D.
Very excited to see how this thing starts performing in real world situations. The X3D chips have always been just incredible when it comes to gaming.
Is it too early to call it the king of gaming CPUs?
It's gonna be up there no matter how you shake it though. I mean, there's just so much going on with it that's designed specifically for gaming. Obviously, the whole L3 cache is a huge thing for the X3D chips.
96 megabytes.
Yep,
That's a
bringing
good
the
size.
total to over 100, including the L2 and L1 cache, which is incredible to help out with gaming performance.
All right, so now I have our 990 Pro 2 terabyte SSD. And what I really like about this, have you seen this? The little sliding latch that they have on here?
No.
So check this out. You can just put it, just slides into place.
Yeah.
It just locks it just like that. And it's cool too because if you have like a smaller SSD, like maybe you shucked your Steam Deck and you want to make use of that old, you know, little guy.
Oh wow, that's
Any
a
size.
nice sliding one too. Ooh.
It takes like 2 seconds to put an SSD in now. I never want to use an M2 screw ever again in my life. That is my goal.
It is so funny how much, I talked a little bit about this in the last build that we did together, but like how much easier it's gotten to do so many things that at one point felt just so daunting. Like even in M.2, I assumed foolishly, obviously, that it was going to be an absolute pain to get together on any build, and it was easy when it was M.2 screws. Obviously, there was a little bit of like fiddliness with just how tiny that screw is, but they're just making it so incredibly smooth to pop it out, pop it in, you're good, let's go. I assume we're not adding anything else as far as storage capacity goes?
No, we're just going to stick with the 2 terabyte for now, which I think is more than enough for just a gaming PC.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can expand on that later, obviously. I mean, look at this. If you want to put another M2, just, look, it just pops in.
That's so easy.
Look at that. Just take off your panel, and you can probably just work around the GPU, and you can just slap it like right in.
Yeah, power supply too is real nice.
So I picked that one specifically because it matches this X870E-E. Not like you're gonna see it very well, but it's the little details, you know, that add up.
It is. I mean, that's the one thing that I think it's really easy. The PSU in particular is really easy to overlook when it comes to building anything, just because most people immediately forget about it. So I'm a big proponent of, if you're building something, make sure you get a good power supply, because if your power supply goes bad,
That's your whole build.
yeah, I mean,
That's the whole thing.
at best, you're not using your computer for a day while you get it fixed. At worst, you might be building a whole new computer.
Let me see, I don't think there's any prep I really have to do for the cooler just yet, Ben. Just have our standoffs. Maybe I'll just put that in now.
Making some horrible faces over here. Kevin, don't use that against me.
Yeah, my build face when building. Whenever I'm doing something and I'm like really concentrating.
Things are pretty nice and organized over here for you when you're ready for it. Crack
Yes,
open the
yes.
case.
Yeah, let's open the case.
Cool.
And we just got the Phantex cases in recently, actually. I just talked to our buyer. So this is new for us. This is the NV9.
Uh-huh.
So people have been asking for Phantex for a while. And now we finally have a pretty decent selection. This is a really big case. See, this is the part of building PCs that they always overlook. It's just dealing with the case boxes.
Oh man, yeah. They got to keep them nice and safe for good reason, but it does mean that there is some cool, nice bit of suction to it.
I mean, they're snug enough and safe enough. You could ship your final build safely, but oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
This is big.
Yeah.
All right, what are we looking at here?
Try to make some room for you over here.
I'm just holding it up for the camera for dramatic effect. This is a big, big case.
That's a big boy.
This is a gigantic case.
It's so big.
That is probably the easiest time I've ever had sliding a motherboard into a case.
Yeah.
Like, it's just zero effort. I like using configurators like our custom PC builder.
Yeah.
So you can like kind of theory craft some parts. But once you start getting into the nitty gritty, and then you start to realize like, oh, maybe I needed this. Yeah, that's where our associates really come in handy.
Oh, so handy. Yeah, absolutely.
They're the ones that sort of guide you on some of the other questionable things that may come up. Like, are you really sure you want to use that component with that case, or?
Like, it will work, but it's gonna be a little bit trickier than you might be prepared for.
Especially for your first time builder.
For sure.
Pro tip, if you're ever building a PC, always bring a friend. They can do the hard stuff while you drink coffee. All right, so we're all done with the build. We got everything to post, we got Windows installed, a whole bunch of games, and this took a little bit longer than we usually do, so it's the next day.
Yeah, a little bit of extra work behind it, a couple of stuff going on. It's a really cool case, and I think that's kind of what led to some of it. Like, there was a lot more features that we weren't really expecting. There's a really nice door back here where you can keep all your cables and channels, make sure it all looks really nice.
I like the cover with the RGB strip.
Yes. Yeah,
I've always wanted
really
to
nice
find
stuff.
a way to sort of cover up all the connections to make it look cleaner, and this actually looks really, really clean. The way like that cover kind of goes over the RGB strip. Kevin, if you're gonna get a good shot of this though, you're gonna have to take the plastic peel off.
Ooh, that's the good stuff there.
You wanna do the honors? I'll
All
do
right.
this side.
All right, ready?
Go. Look at that. That's clean. This is a big case.
This is a big case.
Like this is, it's not a dual chamber, right? It's not wide like some of the other like dual chamber cases are. It's very tall, but you could fit a lot of fans in this guy. You could do a 480 rad if you want. We had to put the 360 on this side here. So we have the intake down here, and then everything else is exhaust. So you have that negative pressure going on, but honestly, your temps are gonna be just fine. I'm really happy with the way this came out. You have the black, you have the red, and I really like what we paired it off with as well.
Yeah, we got some really nice Logitech peripherals up here. We got the G502 mouse, a really super popular mouse, the G915X keyboard. It's super low profile. You get a little bit on that in a second. And the A50 wireless headset comes in a really nice base and everything for it too. It's a gorgeous setup.
Also, can I just add that this matches this case perfectly? Like the color scheme of the black and red with the black and red of the fan. So if you really want to coordinate your peripherals with everything. And I gotta say, the G502, I have two at home. It's my favorite mouse. But all in all, I'm very happy with the way the build came out. And the 9800X3D is shaping up to be an awesome gaming CPU. We'll dive a little bit more into benches later, but you can also check out some benches on microcenter news as well. There's gonna be an article, so make sure you check that out. We'll have it in a link in the description below. But why don't we take this for a test drive? We actually have some games up over here, and you can kind of check out what we have running. And I want to add that we have a 1080, 1440, and a 4K monitor all lined up here. We're playing on the 1440 right now, which is kind of my sweet spot monitor. But we like having this up because we test the games out on the different monitors, and they all have high refresh rates as well. So this one has, what, 180 hertz refresh rate, I think?
About that, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, this looks smooth. So with the 9800X3D, very quick overview, Cinebench score, single core, 2,084 points, and then multi-core, we have a score of 21,776 points. One thing I want to highlight, we did do Total War Warhammer 3, which is really good kind of CPU bench to run because it's very CPU bound.
Anything that has a lot of little guys or lots of things you got to think through, your civilizations, your Total War, stuff like that, very much CPU focused.
And you run them at 1080 and you run them at all low. So that kind of takes the GPU out of the equation and you can really see the difference in your CPU performance. So we lined up the 7600X3D, the 7800X3D, and the 9800X3D. Now I'll have a graphic up on the screen right now, but the biggest takeaway is that 1080 low settings, we have a lift of 15% over the 7800X3D. and a lift of 21% over the 7600X3D. Now, 7600X3D obviously only has 6 cores, 7800 has 8 cores, but the point still remains, you do get a lot of performance lift on this Zen 5 architecture with that expanded X3D L3 cache, which I think Sean is kind of taking it for a test drive right now, and you can kind of really see.
Well, maybe not right now, but
that's not the 9800 X3D's fault.
Yeah, that's gamer error.
And one of the things that we really want to highlight is that at Micro Center, you have a plethora of options. So if you're looking for the latest and greatest, the 9800 X3D is going to be the king of gaming CPUs. But don't forget, we also have that 7600 and that 7800 X3D option as well. And I think the biggest takeaway is you see a lot of gamers still on the AM4 platform.
Oh yeah.
What is that, the 5800 X3D?
Couple years at this point, for sure.
Which is still kind of, I think, the previous king of gaming CPUs, because that's still going a long way.
Oh yeah.
But if you're looking to upgrade, and if you're looking to get some of those newer features that you can get now, now's really the time to do it, and Micro Center has everything that you need. So if you're looking to do a build or have us do the build for you, and you want to check out our wide array of peripherals, keyboards, mice, monitors, we even have the desk and chair. So everything that you need for a full gaming setup, we have that for you at Micro Center. So remember, you can get all of this at your local Micro Center. I hope you guys really enjoyed this build. We're really happy with the way this one came out. And
I really love putting it together with you. It's been a great time, so.
And stay tuned, because we're gonna be doing more of these builds, and we're gonna have more themed builds coming up as we kind of build out our build workstation.
Yeah.
And remember, Build Showcase.
The Micro Center Build Showcase is a great place to show off great builds just like this one. Micro.center/builds, and you can go check out every other build that's been submitted, as well as submit your own. So if you've got something that you're doing, it does not have to be this fancy. We take all the builds, even if you're just using it to browse the web, we want to see what you're putting together. And if you do submit to the Micro Center Build Showcase, there's a chance that you'll be that week's Build of the Week, and we'll send you a free exclusive t-shirt.
And we're gonna feature you on our YouTube channel and our social media as well. So we'll give you a shout out there, and we'll post your photo.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're doing a build with the 9800 X3D or any CPU that you got at Micro Center,
we definitely want to see it.
Absolutely. So remember, come on by your local Micro Center, check out the 9800 X3D, and check out everything else that we have available in the BYO department. And if you don't have a Micro Center near you, make sure to comment #IWantAMicroCenter near me.